That was the best 90 minutes of my life.
This is FilmWise with Black Belt Dragon and
CrashJakFan1994.
the SpongeBob. Okay.
We got a new SpongeBob movie. Before we talk about that,
SpongeBob. Let's talk about our history with SpongeBob. I want to talk about my history, or do you like to talk about yours?
Yeah, both of us have been big fans of SpongeBob since the beginning.
Ever since 1999. I remember like watching those, like the first commercials of when SpongeBob was about to premiere. Anyone who remembers those commercials, it was like these three instrumental guys saying, SpongeBob SquarePants coming up next.
So yeah, I mean, I used to watch SpongeBob a lot when I was young.
SpongeBob was like my favorite animated character at the time. I can't believe it's like been 16 years ever since.
Gosh, I feel old.
You do feel old, but being old, like Nickelodeon in the past was like very good. Yeah. Like,
and of course, there was a SpongeBob movie nearly 11 years ago. And that was awesome.
Yes, every SpongeBob fan loves that movie. Even non-SpongeBob fans like that movie. My brother at the time was a big SpongeBob fan, but now he's not really much of a SpongeBob fan, but he still enjoys the first movie.
Yeah, and I do have some good memories of SpongeBob, and it wasn't until years later I realized that, as the show went on, it hasn't gotten good. I mean, there are some diamonds in the rough, but it's been plagued with problems like flanderization or
disgusting jokes,
and on top of that, making characters unlikable.
Oh yes, but of course, like remembering good SpongeBob, I remember a lot of good jokes in the SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like remember like that. Like, can you remember a joke? Like,
let's see. Oh, and Gary takes a bath. SpongeBob pretends these 2 bars of soap are doubloons, and he says, "Don't drop them." That I don't know how they got that past the censors, and I can't believe it flew over my head.
And I remember this joke from Sandy. SpongeBob doesn't have any hair, or does he?
No. It's like this. SpongeBob doesn't have hair, or does he?
How did they get away with that? Like, 90 shows were like awesome.
Well, actually, it's more of a 2000s show.
2000, like early 2000, 90 shows were like amazing. Like you could get away with anything. Nowadays, you can try getting away with something, but back then you couldn't get away with like jokes like that for children. And I found it incredibly amazing. There were a lot of good episodes of SpongeBob, like a lot of holiday episodes. I still love Christmas Who. I still love the Halloween episode. And actually my favorite special of SpongeBob is the big party episode too.
Really, that one?
Yeah, don't you remember the party episode?
Well, I know that. It's just...
when they played the party episode of SpongeBob, like there was like a whole like... a catalog premiere. Like they would keep going and going with this. They always put like promos, bumpers. It was like insane.
Well, to be honest, usually SpongeBob specials are made just for the sake of ratings. They hype it up and Nickelodeon gets the ratings.
I'm guessing you didn't like that episode that much?
I've only seen it once.
I've seen it so many times. I would like to own the SpongeBob movies all on DVD. It's just hard to come by.
But they are on DVD. You can find them at a video store.
Yes, but I cannot keep them and buy them. They're too expensive.
The actual movie. We're going on a little too long.
Okay, the actual movie. Let's talk about the good stuff. Now, the good stuff about this movie is that I really, really like the animation in this movie. It's like a movie.
Actually, for the most part, we got a traditionally animated movie, and we hardly get those nowadays. I mean, the last...
Traditionally animated movie was like The Simpsons?
No, I mean, the last traditionally animated movie we've seen in theaters was like, I don't know, Disney's Princess and the Frog.
Oh yes, and a lot of people do not like traditional animated 2D movies nowadays.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's just
like no, but like if you're trying to see a movie in the theater, most movies are just covered in CG movies.
Yeah, it's overly saturated.
Yeah, like I do miss those days where you get the official 2D traditional animated movie, but I think that the marketing of this movie worked well to its advantage. They're trying, you know how they try to put out like it's kind of a CG fest movie?
Yeah, actually, one thing to note, the trailers are a little misleading. You know, we all thought it was all going to take place on dry land, but that's actually in the third act.
Just like the third final act.
Oh my gosh, that is one of the that is another example of the don't trust a trailer trope. It's just
you had an experience like that. You said when you saw the trailer of Edge of Tomorrow, you thought it was gonna.
That's different. The marketing for that one was very poor.
Yeah, but like I do like it's a traditional 2D movie, but of course the animation is like movie like wait.
Along the levels of the first movie.
Like movie animation. That's what I like, that it's movie-worthy animation, because I've seen two movies two movies that was released in theaters. I just wondered why they released it in theaters, because movies like Doug's first movie or the Equestria Girls films.
Hey, don't be dissing the Equestria Girls movies.
It's just because that I know it's flash animation, but the original, the show, it's they made flash animation good, and you were thinking in the movies, you were thinking that the animation was actually going to be superior.
All right, we're going off topic. Back to the movie.
Okay, back to the movie. Not only the animation, but the characters are actually very likable in this movie. You know how usually nowadays Mr. Krabs is known as a very mean, also very cheap man, which he kind of still is in this movie, but they actually made him actually likable in this film.
Yeah, at least he doesn't drive someone to suicide.
Yes, one-course meal.
Ugh, just why?
Mr. Enter was right about that.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, the characters, everybody's in character, just...
Yeah, and actually, Plankton's story arc in this movie, I found it kind of touching in the third act. He does something very touching, and I just, right here, that was something that I would never expect Plankton to do in this movie. That's pretty great. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually a good character in this one.
Also, I do want to talk about that there is a celebrity in this movie, but you probably wouldn't know it. Probably people who've seen him would know it. Yeah. Antonio Banderas. He plays the pirate in the movie. Obviously, you've seen the trailers. You know that he plays some kind of pirate in the movie who's the villain. First time that CrashJak saw him, he didn't know it was him.
Yeah, I mean,
he played the role so good.
Yeah, I never even thought it was him. I mean, I've heard his name somewhere, but he gives a solid performance.
He does. Actually, I was really thinking in the top of my head that maybe they were planning on putting Tom Kenny as Patchy the Pirate to be the pirate in the movie. I was thinking that the first time, but maybe they changed it up a bit because they said, no, we have to put a star in this movie. We got Antonio Banderas, put him. He's not in your face in this movie. He doesn't reference any movies he was in. He's just, in character. That's good because Antonio Banderas really did a solid performance in this movie.
What about the humor?
The humor in the movie, it's traditional humor of Spongebob, and that's what I like about the film. I had so many laughs. There was this one scene in this movie where it was some kind of acid trip, to SpongeBob's psyche or something, and oh my god, I was laughing like crazy in that scene.
I can't believe they actually put a drug joke later on. There was a guy. I know the trailers reveal it, but when the main characters become superheroes, and then this is not in the trailer, one human looks at his Krabby Patty, and says, "What did they put on it?"
Oh my gosh! drug humor, I mean, sometimes can work, but like in this movie, it definitely worked. Like, okay,
and
I
and
did see it. I
and,
looked away.
for the most part, I actually did laugh. Though when I started hearing food puns, it brought up some really bad memories. Maybe it's because of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too. I mean, I hate food puns because of that movie.
Oh my gosh, food puns are nothing when you compare it to the pasta puns in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Still food puns. And, you know, there were a couple of pop culture references I could do with that. I mean, I kind of groaned when there were some Stanley Kubrick references.
I didn't think, I found them kind of funny. I mean, obviously pop culture references is not too bad unless it's done well, which I kind of felt it was done very I mean, it's not like all over the place. At least it's only like 2 scenes in the movie. Okay, now let's get into the bad aspects of this movie.
Let's see. Oh yeah. You said something about getting lost in some scene.
Oh yeah, this movie, I definitely have to say, is well-paced. Like, it's a very well-paced movie from beginning to middle to end, but I felt that some scenes, like, the characters felt lost. Like, there's, like, around a scene in the movie in the middle, like, you're just wondering, where is this gonna go? Like, what is he gonna do? Like, I don't get it. Like, it takes a while before they get back into, like, the story, and it's just kind of a little distracting. But, you know, I still say it's very well paced in that matter.
What about the human world aspect?
Oh my gosh, like, okay, the first time, like, it's in the trailer, like, SpongeBob goes into the human world, and I thought that they were really gonna do, like, a spot the stars kind of thing. Like, I thought I was gonna, because people on the beach, you were thinking that you were gonna see, like, many stars in that movie, but no, it's only Antonio Banderas. I thought I was gonna see, like, people like Adam Sandler or Ariel Winter.
Would have been Truth or Square all over again.
Oh my gosh, Truth or Square wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, another example of a ratings trap.
Yeah, like, we gotta have stars in this movie. I mean, it's a kid's movie, but we gotta have stars. Like,
but thankfully, there's none of that right there.
only Antonio Banderas is, like, the only star, plus a few recognizable voice actors for anyone who's seen the movie.
Oh yeah, like Kevin Michael Richardson.
And there's that nasally, nerdy kid who's in everything, but somehow you always forget about his name.
Ed Nazim. That nerdy kid from the Polar Express.
Oh, yes. He's actually been in a lot of stuff. I did not know that.
And now we get into spoiler territory.
We're going to go to spoiler territory here,
I just
guys.
said that.
I just wanted to say it again.
Fine.
Okay, we're going to go to spoiler territory. I love threes. So if you don't want to be spoiled, because we're going to talk about, like, a lot of parts in the movie that we really liked. So if you do not want to get spoiled, click at the time. Click at the time slot right here where I'm pointing at. Point with me.
Somewhere.
Right there. Right there.
Yeah. What he said.
Okay, so things I really liked, like my favorite scenes in the movie is where there's a scene where SpongeBob's going into the Krusty Krab, the chum bucket. He's going into the chum bucket with Plankton, and while they're, you know, working together. TM work. They're working together, and then SpongeBob, like, Patrick is the guard, and they have to get past him. So then they try to get the key, and, like, Plankton's, like, falling over trying to get the key. And when they finally get the key, Patrick wakes up. And so when he wakes up,
it kind of reminds me of that Secret Box episode.
Oh my gosh!
Actually, that's the thing. There are there are some callbacks to the original show. Like, I remember Patrick's head was covered in an ice cream cone. I immediately thought of the Hall Monitor episode.
Oh yes, I love. That's one of my favorite episodes. Like,
the Hall Monitor.
Yes. Okay. So in that scene, after they wake up Patrick, SpongeBob tries to rock him to sleep, and so Plankton sings the song. He said, "Rock-a-bye, Pig Kid. Let me tell you a story, Pig Kid. This is the story of the pig fat lump idiot. You know, you think he's gonna get me that? That was really funny. Okay, and there's this other scene I really liked where I think it's a callback to the campfire episode, where Plankton goes into SpongeBob's mind, which is also another callback to that episode where Plankton enters SpongeBob's mind to control him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and when he goes into his mind, he goes deep into his brain, and we look at SpongeBob's dreams, which is another callback to like that episode where SpongeBob Peoples enters dreams. When he goes into his dreams,
the sleepy time. That's what it was called.
And when he goes into his mind, SpongeBob, obviously, if you know SpongeBob, you would see like he's full of pinks and rainbows, and also a lot of crazy stuff. Like he's
a very optimistic character.
Yeah, and inside there's like that Stanley Kubrick joke, like, "Come play with us. We're very sweet." And then what happens is like planes can't stand it because like it's too sweet, and then so literally he barfs up rainbows.
Gravity Falls much?
Yeah, maybe they're bringing a tribute to that. Maybe they watched Gravity Falls.
Like that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Like throwing up rainbows, like, oh my gosh, this is a sweet town. I better get out of here. Like Plankton gets out of his brain immediately. And there's like cotton candy and like candy canes all over him. Like, oh my gosh, that was like the acid trip of SpongeBob. Like,
but Ren and Stimpy is an acid trip. SpongeBob is a little more tame, but
yeah. Also, another thing I really liked is the scene where there's actually a scene where they this is around the beginning of the movie, but like there's a scene where the pirate guy played by Antonio Banderas, he's writing it down in the book, and he's writing down in the book, and and the pelicans are like saying, "Wait, that's
not pelicans, seagulls."
Oh, seagulls! Like I thought they were pelicans. Seagulls, like the seagulls, like saying, "Wait a second, that's the ending. That can't end that way. Of course I can." And they all live happily ever after. Like, okay. And okay, the pelican trip, and they all live happily ever after. The end, and then the credits start rolling off. I was like, "What? This is the ending of?" But it's like very quick. I couldn't stop laughing after that scene.
Actually, kind of reminds me of the ending of the first Bayonetta. Oh, right, you haven't finished that, but there's a bit of a fourth wall breaking part.
Yeah.
You'll know when you actually get around to beating it.
Oh yeah, I'm still playing that game. I'm also playing Bayonetta 2 as well.
Off topic.
Yeah, but like I said, that scene was so funny. I almost actually was gonna laugh to the floor and smack down because that was just like the funniest thing I ever saw ever since I saw SpongeBob. It reminded me of the original SpongeBob. That's what I like. Like, thank you for that joke. Like, it's like, seriously. And they all live happily ever after. The end. Credits start rolling, and then the pelican's like, "No, that's not the ending of the story." Oh my gosh. And another thing I want to talk about is that some of the jokes in this, I want to talk about that the beginning and I can tell you that with the traditional 2D animation, the beginning and the middle are all traditional 2D animation with a little bit of live action coming back from the pirate telling the story, and then only in the ending it's like CG animation. And the CG animation in the movie, I actually kind of agree because during, like, there was this one person who was working in the movie, he said that while working on the CG animation, it looked very strange and very weird, and that's kind of how I felt.
Well, I mean, there was a SpongeBob episode that was entirely claymation. It's not really that shocking.
I mean, I've played the video games, which is like CG SpongeBob characters, and in one of those games, it was cel-shaded, which actually worked.
Which game was that?
SpongeBob SquarePants Creature from the Krusty Krab. They used cel animation when making that game.
Yeah, I've never played it.
You never played it, but I played it. Like, they used cel animation, and I thought the cel animation worked very perfectly for that game. It, like, imagine if there was, like, a movie with that, and when I saw the movie, they used traditional, just regular CG animation, and, yeah, the mouths move very good, when they talk.
And actually, And actually, the CG animation manages to emulate the 2D animation really well.
Yeah, but I still felt it was kind of weird. Like, it looked a little strange. Like, but that's actually, I think that's what they did. I also, going back to like the promotion and all of the marketing for this movie, the poster, when you see it, you would, like I said, you would think that it would just be a CG fest, but no, it's more traditional 2D animation.
Dude, I said that earlier on.
Yeah, but like, think about this. If people didn't think that it was going to be like a traditional 2D animation, if they put that in the poster, people would have probably never gone to see it.
Dude, it's SpongeBob. Everyone loves SpongeBob. They'll go see anything.
Yeah, but like nowadays, kids, like, I don't remember a lot of, like, I have like this cousin or something, he mostly likes to see CG films, and obviously I was thinking that kids nowadays would just like to see CG animated movies, like you would think that, but not just because it's SpongeBob, but I think that the marketing for this movie actually kind of is bad, but it works somehow. It makes people think that you're going to go see a CG movie when really it's more 2D animation. And guess what? Probably they're not going to leave because it's SpongeBob and great humor. That's actually very smart and very bad at the same time. But that's pretty much like my favorite scenes in the movie. What were your favorite scenes? Like,
you pretty much talked about them, and I also talked about that drug joke.
that drug joke. But are you sure there wasn't like any scenes that you liked in the movie? Like what about the scenes where the apocalyptic future happens?
Apocalyptic, and I don't have much to say about.
Oh
that.
wait, what about the time travel thing?
Okay, well, I watch a lot of Doctor Who, so the time travel is impossible.
It's confusing, like any other animated show. No one could get time travel right, except for Back to the Future and Doctor Who.
Well, even Back to the Future kind of raises a couple questions in terms of the alternate timeline.
Yeah, but at least there's not so many mistakes in it, like, you know, time travel. With like animation shows, every time they do a time travel joke, it seems like it doesn't work as well because it doesn't make any sense. And I actually felt that there was a scene where every time they go time travel, something was a little messed up. Like, how did they manage to get the wrong formula and get the right one with them? It explodes in your head. Like, you know, I also, obviously, when they go time traveling, there's a little bit of a Stanley Kubrick joke. Like,
yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
yeah, like they like go like on a trip like crazy.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just I can't stand pop culture references. I mean, it just ruins the original thing that they're referencing.
Wayne's World somehow made it work.
I've never seen Wayne's World, so I can't say anything about that.
But like I said, it's like very good in its own right. I mean, I didn't feel it was bad. Okay, but also we gotta talk about the ending. Like, this is in detail. In the ending of the movie, Pat, obviously, with any good kids movie, like the pirate loses, and actually the pelicans, the seagulls try to, like, you know, sing the SpongeBob theme song, and in the ending of the movie they get their chance. And so Antonio Banderas is like that pirate that you see in every single like intro of SpongeBob, like you saying,
Painty the Pirate.
Painty the Pirate, like, are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah, so they sing the SpongeBob theme, and then and then that dolphin guy Bubbles pops in.
They do a pop culture.
No. They do a rap song.
Yeah.
And I don't care if the movie lampshades that it's gone on for too long. I could have done without that.
Yeah, the rapping in the movie kind of felt out of place. It feels a little bit like Revenge of the Sith, where you feel like the traditional Star Wars is coming back. Like, with this movie, like, if you're a SpongeBob fan from the original, you're gonna like this movie, but, like, if you look at that one scene, you're like, it feels like the modern bad SpongeBob is like showing up his face again.
Really, I don't remember rap sections in in like later SpongeBob seasons.
No, but like it's the humor and how it feels, like how the feeling is. Like with that rap song, it just felt like something out of like the bad SpongeBob that many people have seen so far. Like it just feels like those bad SpongeBob episodes, like that feeling when you see that rapping dolphin.
But still, it was very brief.
But it was very brief, but at least they sing the whole theme song, and then like the dolphin says, "Huh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. I kind of liked it." And then in the rest, like we didn't stay until the credits. So we don't know if there's like anything extra that happens. Probably, maybe something extra happens. Because actually in the original SpongeBob movie, after the end credits, after the SpongeBob sings a song.
Oh yeah, the Pirates at the movie theater.
The Pirates at the movie theater comes along, and then that lady says
the usher.
The usher says, "You all have to leave." And then say that again if you dare.
Yeah, I think everyone gets that.
Wait, was she a famous actress? That usher?
I have no idea.
No, I don't think so. But like I said, we thought maybe there was going to be like an after the post-credit scene, kind of like the Marvel movies, but we didn't stay because like it was kind of very. Let's just say that it was bad weather outside, so we had to go home. We had to go home very quick.
Yeah, we were filming this like an hour after watching it.
Yeah. If you like the original SpongeBob, and let me tell you, if you do, then you're gonna love this movie. It's for like every SpongeBob fan. But if you're not a fan of SpongeBob, I have to say this. You're gonna at least like the movie anyway. You won't feel like your time is wasted. And let me tell you, it's a real good ride. I give this movie a B+. So, CrashJakFan1994, what did you think of the movie?
It's alright. I got some good laughs out of it. I don't feel like my time is wasted. And I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite movies of the year, but I had a good time. So, and there's a lot, and I will have to say the good outweigh the bad. I do recommend it to SpongeBob fans alike, and general audiences.
This has been Black Belt Dragon
And CrashJakFan1994
signing out, and I will be seeing you on my next FilmWise. Do you think you'll be coming back for other films?
If we happen to be doing that, then yeah.
This has been a fun ride.